Good evening, everyone. Extremely sorry for the delay. There is some technical issue, so we started bit late. Am I audible and visible to all? Yes or no? Can you just keep a thumbs up? Okay. So we are going to start the session. I feel it's a very important topic which we are going to discuss today. If you have any questions, you can type in the chat. I'll try to answer all your questions, and it's a very important taboo topic where not much is discussed about it. And as a fertility specialist, after seeing so many patients, I feel that it's a very important topic to be discussed. So let's start our presentation. So today I'm going to talk about sexual and menstrual hygiene, how we can maintain our sexual and menstrual hygiene, which is very important topic. So basically, puberty causes all kinds of changes in the adolescent body, right? That's how the changes start once a girl or a boy attains the puberty. These bodily changes are normal part of developing into an adult, right? But there are instances when these changes can be a source of anxiety to the growing tween because of lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, because parents don't discuss with them about the bodily changes. They have a lot of anxiety which they couldn't, which they can't. Uh, there are a lot of anxiety in the teens. So it's very important as a parent, as a teachers, to sit with them, explain them about puberty, what is puberty, what are the changes you're going to see in the puberty, and all. So this education to the kids is very important. Basically, according to WHO, reproductive and sexual ill health accounts the global burden of ill health. For in women it's around 20%, and it's men it's around 14%, a very high percentage in both men and women. And as it is also closely related to other aspects of health. So sexual health is an integral part of the overall health of the male and female. So, what's the purpose of today's webinar? See, it is not enough to know what happens during puberty, right? So, we all know that at the age of probably a girl from 9 to 14 years will attain her puberty, and the boy starts puberty at the age of 12 or something like that. But it's not enough to know what happens during puberty. It's also very important to learn how to keep our body clean, hygienic, and free of infections. That's the main motto of today's webinar. So there are things you need to know to keep our new adult body running as its peak, right? The hormones are at its peak, but we also should know how to use them and how to maintain the hygiene, so to prevent sexually transmitted diseases or other infections in the private parts. So basically, what is sexual health? Sexual health is defined as integration of somatic, emotional, intellectual and social aspect of a sexual being, that means a human being, in ways that are positively enriching and that enhances personality, communication and love. It's somatic, emotional, intellectual and social aspect. So there are a lot of aspects which are involved in the sexual health. What do you mean by hygiene? Hygiene refers to the behaviors that can improve cleanliness and lead to good It's from a Greek Greek goddess Hygeia. She is a goddess of health, cleanliness and sanitation. That's how the name hygiene has come. Hygiene practices are employed as preventive measures to reduce the incidence and spreading of diseases for the preservation of health. So these practices are mainly to prevent the incidence and spread of diseases, which we are going to learn today. That's about sexual health. What is reproductive health? Reproductive health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well being, and not merely the absence of disease in all matters related to reproductive system. A lot of people think that I don't have any disease, my reproductive health is fine. Infertility also, a lot of people say that I'm just not able to conceive, but I'm not having any disease. Now infertility is also categorized as a disease of the reproductive system. So it functions and processes at all stages of life. So it's almost physical, mental and social well-being of the female or male is also very integral part of the reproductive health. So what are the consequences of poor sexual health? Poor sexual health can lead to the host of adverse consequences. Correlation and lack of education on sexual health resources can lead to the most common in teenage unintended pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. On Feb 12th, we worldwide we celebrate, we create awareness about reproductive and sexual health. Last year we did in-house with a sexologist and a psychologist, but this year we went to the slum area in Hyderabad, where we are surprised to see at what age they are starting their sexual activity. They are sexually active at as young age as 11 to 12 years. So when you take a detail, and we spoke with a lot of girls and boys there, they said that sexual activities, once they attain puberty, that means they are sexually active, and there are a lot of unwanted pregnancies, and the children doesn't know that they have conceived. So there are a lot of teenage pregnancies. We all know the complication of teenage pregnancy. There are a lot of complications in the pregnancy of the teens, and also there is a high incidence of AIDS in that community. There are a lot of high sexually transmitted infections with the children doesn't know about. So we went there and educated them about safe sexual practices, how to maintain their sexual hygiene, menstrual hygiene, and also uh, and counsel them not to have an early sexual activities, and whatever way possible we try to educate them regarding this, and also about the sexually transmitted infections. So failing to communicate with doctors can also cause long-term physical health consequences. How can we improve the sexual health? The most important is talk. You have to talk therapy or one-on-one therapy, and even couple counseling can help people wade through these issues and come out the other side in better sexual health. It is also important to speak to a doctor about sexual health needs. A lot of people now in my practice, previously a lot of women never used to talk about their sexual desires or their issues, or their libido issues, desires and all. But now a lot of people are more now open up. Now they're coming and expressing their sexual needs as well, which is a very progressing thing, I have to say, in my practice. So it's very important to just speak to the doctor about sexual health needs. So the importance of sexual health hygiene is basically, as I told you, it's important for your physical and mental health as well. It keeps all parts of external body clean and healthy, reduce the chance of getting infections, which can lead to very serious problems. As we January we had a webinar on cervical cancer prevention, whereas HPV viral infection is the most common reason. HPV infection is a cause for cervical cancer, which is again a sexually transmitted. So safe sexual practices are very, very important, and prevention of infection is also very, very important to prevent diseases, and also in long term they can lead to infertility in the couple. It diminishes the possibility of contracting. Because of the hygiene, we can reduce the sexually transmitted diseases. When you look at the female hygiene, it's very important not to use any external commercial products on your vagina. Vagina has a very good protective bacteria. They are like a military force. How the military protects our country, our vagina is protected by a good amount of good bacteria. The most common is lactobacilli. That lactobacilli keeps our vaginal pH acidic, so that it prevents the external organism invasion and protects our vaginal coat. When you use any other scented soaps or gels, it reduces the good bacterial layer, and there is a very high risk of infections in these women. So we shouldn't use any external products or creams or powders on the vagina. And also there are a lot of carcinogenic elements. They are also carcinogenic. They are saying that there is the risk of reproductive cancers in women who use these external products on the vagina. So it's very important not to use any scented soaps or gels or any powders on the vagina. The thing, and the other thing is maintaining hygiene. Wash the area with, don't use any other external products which alters the pH of the vagina. Just use warm water daily to wash your private parts. If you are using in the menstrual cycles, if you are using sanitary pads or whatever, tampons, whatever, you have to change your sanitary pads every 6 hours, so that you won't get infections or rashes or any other further complications. And also pubic hair is also a protective phenomena for us. It also helps to prevent the infection. So if you shave the hair, there, because of the cut, sometimes when you don't properly shave your hair, through the cuts also sometimes organisms can penetrate and cause infection. So it's very important the method how you are removing your pubic hair. Actually hair protective, if you are using, just trim the hair, don't shave the entire hair. After using toilet, it's very important to wipe it from back to front, right? So you shouldn't touch the vagina once you wipe it from the anus. So it's very important how you clean your private parts as well. These are some of the ways how you can maintain your female hygiene. When it comes to male hygiene, so basically for males there is a lot of sweat that is accumulating near the penis area. So it's very important to have frequent wash. For them also, it's only warm water. They shouldn't use much of any external products on the private parts. You should always look for the area between the base of testicles and anus is also clean. You should keep your anus and testicle, in between the anus and testicle part, also very clean. And you should always observe for any lumps or swellings in your testicle that weren't there before. This is how you look and maintain in the males. These are few frequent questions which we ask whenever a boy or female come to us. How frequently do you wash your genitals, for both males and boys? How frequently you change your innerwears? How do you use hair removal methods for your pubic hair? How frequently you're going for your regular checkups? Do you indulge in regular sexual activities like intercourse or masturbation? If yes, what type of activities? And partners, and about communicate with your partner about various sexual infections, protective measures before sexual activity. So in girls especially, how often do you visit a gynecologist? Do you know about protective measures for preventing pregnancy and STDs? If yes, which are the ones you know about? So these are the few. What do you use during your periods, whether pads, tampons, cloth or other? How frequently do you wash your genitals during your period? These are the few questions we generally ask in the history taking whenever we examine a boy or a girl. So that's about the sexual hygiene. The main intention is to prevent sexually transmitted diseases. That's the main motto of sexual health. Menstrual hygiene, very very important and most ignored thing. Menstrual cycle, the most important issue, at the least talked about. A lot of people doesn't want to talk. The young girls, they feel that it is something which shouldn't be talked about. They feel guilty, they become anxious to talk. They feel might be not so confident about it to talk about this issue. So it's very important to bust some menstrual myths. So what's the first myth? In our community, a menstruating woman is considered as impure or sick or even cursed. But the fact is, menstruating woman is not impure. Menstruation is a natural and healthy body process. Menstrual blood is just a mixture of blood and tissue that was not utilized to nourish a baby in the womb. So the second myth is they cannot offer prayers, take part in religious ceremonies and all these things. But the fact is, a menstruating woman is not impure, but she might like to follow these practices as a result of religious sentiments. The third thing is, should not cook food or even enter the kitchen. There are some superstitious or orthodox families who doesn't allow them in the kitchen and ask them to sit in one corner of the room. But there is no such thing, unhygienic thing during menstruation. If you can prepare, you can have a good hygiene measures, then it's nothing unhygienic. So they'll also say that contact from a menstruating woman will cause a pickle or some breads to spoil. I've seen in my childhood in our houses also. Don't touch the annual pickles which they keep, especially if you touch them, they'll get spoiled when you are in periods. There is no modern scientific test that ever shown menstruation as reason for spoilage of any food in making. So what are the common symptoms you have during periods? You have abdominal swelling, mood swings, headache, flushing and abdominal pain. So generally, how do you deal with these symptoms? So you deal with, if it is very severe, then you take the help of your gynecologist. She might prescribe some NSAIDs or pain relievers. The main important thing is to have healthy food during that time. Warm baths, heating pads can help, and a little bit of massage can help to really deal with the symptoms naturally. And these are beautiful yoga poses which can help you relieve in your menstrual cramps. So you can see right. And also, there is no rule that you shouldn't practice yoga during menstrual cycle. You can, but don't do vigorous. As you can see, these activities you shouldn't, these vigorous poses you cannot do, but the simple poses you can go and do your regular yoga practice. So how to deal with the menstrual flow? A lot of discussion about sanitary pads, which to use, what to use and all. So we have two types of options. One is disposable, where we dispose it off, and reusable cloth pads made of cloth that can be washed, dried and reused. While selecting any of the above, you also have to ensure that your preferred device prevents the flow from spoiling your clothes. This is how you keep a sanitary pad. I think everybody knows how to keep a sanitary pad. So if I can play, this is the recent So that's how you insert a menstrual cup. Now even though menstrual cup is there since long time, but this is now has come up because of the pads. The pads, sanitary pads, are causing rash to a lot of people, and about use of plastic and the material and all. Now menstrual cups have come. They are made of silicone and rubber, easy to use, and they are reusable. They can be used for years without any issue. You can sterilize them and keep them and again use them. So very convenient to use, but slightly initially it has a slight learning curve how to insert the menstrual cup, but you have seen in the video how you can insert it. So you can remove it and again reinsert it. Once the cup is full, you can remove and reinsert it, which can be done every 6 hours. Uh, there is no need to feel overwhelmed or feel dirty during these days, because periods are very natural process of the body, just like you do yawn, sneeze, and all these things. The only thing you need to do is to take special care of your body's hygiene and avoid unwanted infections during this time. So what will happen if hygiene is not maintained during menstruation? So basically the area around the genitals is moist. When you use a disposable pad or a reusable pad, there is a possibility of several type of infections if the area remains damp for too long. And there can be itching. Infection can lead to itching, irritation in the vagina. Due to this dampness, rashes in all along the line of innerwear area are also so common. This most common complaint patients come to me. So, how to maintain hygiene during this period? Menstrual hygiene is significantly in ensuring that your everyday life does not get interrupted by either your menstruation, whether it can be school, work, or your daily activities. And also, the most important thing is to prevention of possible urinary tract infections. If left untreated, it can lead to a kidney infection. So, you need to hydrate yourself very well during your menstrual periods, and also maintain the hygiene very properly. So maintaining proper hygiene ensures that you never run into potential situations, and it makes you feel confident about yourself and your body. So how to maintain it? Staying healthy and active, stress free life. Okay, unhealthy lifestyle can disrupt your menstrual cycle. We all heard about PCO, which is a common lifestyle disorder because of the overweight, obesity. There are irregular menstrual cycles, hirsutism, obesity. When obesity is there, the thighs will rub, and there is a lot of fungal infections which happen in the private area. It's very important to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and balanced diet is very important in regularizing your periods and help to maintain a healthy physical and mental well-being. So it's also very important to record your previous period dates, whether your periods are regular or irregular, how is your flow, heavy, normal. So these are all very important that you should record your periods. General hygiene: you take bath at least once daily, wash the genital area with just warm water, nothing else. Clean undergarments, cotton undergarments are better. Change the pads regularly every 6 hours. If not taken care, bad hygiene can lead to various infections. And also it's very important to choose the right sanitation method. Look what is suitable for you, whether it is a pad or tampon or menstrual cup, whatever which is suiting you. But whatever you are using, depending on the flow, you have to change the sanitation method every 4 to 6 hours. Otherwise, there is an increased risk of vaginal infections or UTIs, urinary tract infections, and in severe cases, you can go to toxic shock syndrome, whether if the tampon is left inserted in the body for long, you are keeping a tampon and you are not removing it, so then can leads to a very severe toxic infection, which is called toxic shock syndrome. Trust water is best. You can always trust on. Use just warm water to clean your vaginal parts. Whenever you are using soaps or any other external chemicals, as I told you, it will kill the good bacteria present in the vagina, and the pH balance will be disturbed, and there is a risk of external organisms invading the vagina and causing infections. So wash, as I told you, right technique of washing is also very important. Wash from vagina to anus. Don't go from anus to vagina, because from anus you are going to take the infections to the vagina. So that's very important that you wash from vagina to anus, not from anus to the vagina. Disinfect your innerwear if your innerwear is having a stain. And the most important thing is we ignore is disposing of your pads properly. We generally just dispose our pads in a routine normal dustbins and all. So it's very important how you dispose your pads, because you are creating a lot of pollution in the environment. So it is essential for you to be careful about your hygiene. It's very equally important to dispose of the used pads, as they can cause infection and create foul smell. You should never flush the pads down in the commode, as it clogs the toilet. So do not so it is very important to wrap the used pad safely in a piece of paper before throwing it in the bin. Do not forget to wash your hands once you have disposed of the pad. These are some good foods which you can eat during periods: broccoli, beans, and salmon, eggs, oatmeal, dark chocolate. These are good. The things you avoid are definitely anything which is fried, maida involved, bakery foods, and all you should definitely avoid. These are some foods which can increase your hemoglobin levels. If you're bleeding very heavy, you can try these foods: raisins, dates, strawberries, spinach, sesame seeds, asparagus, pomegranate, watermelon. These are the few foods which can increase your hemoglobin. So basically, what does a sanitary napkin contains? It contains here plastic, also silicone plastic, and also plastic again is not good in your private parts. So look for the sanitary pads which are certified, and look for its content, with what material it is made up of. See, if you look at the India sanitary pad problem, see, almost 432 million pads are used annually. That means we are generating around 9,000 tons of total waste is created by us annually. So it's very important to have a proper disposable system for this sanitary pads as well. So you can see that if you don't dispose the waste properly, can lead to also it can disturb the soil microflora also, and decomposition takes time. So it's very important to maintain the soil integrity. Also, water bodies can get contaminated. A simple disposal from sanitary pad disposal can lead to environmental issues. So materials soaked with blood are breeding places for germs and pathogenic microbes. So sanitary pads products soaked with blood for an infected woman may contain hepatitis and HIV virus, which retain their infectivity in soil and live up to 6 months in soil. Very important to see how you dispose your sanitary pads. We all just wrap it in a cover and dispose in the dustbins, but you have some incinerators as well, which can disinfect this or dispose this menstrual waste. Incinerators are used according to eco-friendly guidelines. They create less pollution. They are operated at specific temperatures and emit less harmful gases. So this is how they are clay or cemented incinerators. These people are a role model for a lot of people, where they have made a low cost incinerators at their own capacity. This is a mud incinerator where they dispose the sanitary pads. I think a lot of people know about this Padman movie, where they Arunachalam Muruganathan, the man from Tamil Nadu, known as India's menstrual man, develops an inexpensive and environmental friendly machine which produces semi biodegradable sanitary pads. I think we can have one video.
Please tell me what it is that made you so mad at me.
I don't know. I don't remember.
If you can't remember, can't we just forget about this?
Oh, no. I am at you. I know that much.
See, basically, a lot of people talk about premenstrual syndrome, PMS, and during before the period, just before the periods, there is a lot of irritability and anxiety in the women. So this is most common. A lot of people do joke about PMS, but it's a really genuine condition. The woman goes through this, and it requires some amount of vitamins. If someone is having a severe PMS, you can consult your gynec, where they can give you some medications to relieve it.
Please tell me.
So it's very important for the teachers, doctors, everyone to come up and create awareness about menstruation and menstrual waste management in the schools, in the girls who attain puberty, and they tell them about the menstrual hygiene and also menstrual waste disposable, and you have to keep open discussions about this topic. So menstruation can affect all aspects of a girl life, from education, economics, health, dignity, and also participation. So it's very important that we should know, we should be aware of the menstrual, sexual and reproductive health, better reproductive health, greater self-esteem and confidence, and better academic performance. I think a lot of people might be knowing about it, the Oscar winning documentary Period, end of sentence, they have discussed about a documentary about menstruation. There is a woman who have to give up important things like education and work for something as normal and natural as their monthly period.
It's time we stop to whisper and tell ourselves to stay free. It's time we take a break from this mad rat race and go on a chilling spree. Cause hey, it's a nature's call when the world around us seems to fall. I pay a big price to be a woman. I bloody bleed every month for my entire life, a life that I did not choose. Depression comes knocking my door and bring with it a friend, mental abuse. I go through a hell lot of pain, a pain I can never explain, but still I smile in that fucking conference chair giving presentation. Is that even...
So it's very important to
It's time...
talk if you are having any issues during your regarding your menstrual and sexual health, right? It's again the Padman movie pictures where low cost sanitary pad making machines have. So basically a period is a sign of health and fertility. It's not a disease and a sin. So your period isn't for hiding. It's a pure sign of health and fertility. I'll just end this webinar with this nice song sung by Shreya Ghoshal.
Good morning, kids! Good morning! आज हम पीरियड्स के बारे में सीखेंगे. एक गाने के साथ सीखोगे? चलो, let's go! पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप. पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप. बॉडी में यूट्रस लाइनिंग बनाए, फिर हर महीने उसे हटाए. खून के रूप में ये बाहर आए, पर डरने की नहीं ये कोई भी बात. पीरियड्स का मतलब हेल्दी है आप.
So thank you all for your time and attention. So if you have any questions, you can keep it in the post it in the chat box so that I can answer. See, I got one question regarding sanitary pads cause cancer at later stage of life. Is it a myth or fact? I got two people asked the same question. See, basically, it's not about sanitary pads causing cancer. It's about the infection. If you are not maintaining your hygiene properly or not changing your frequently your pads, or if you're getting infection, as I told you, there is a good bacteria which is there in your vagina and uterus. Once you breach that because of the infection, so there is a high risk of any infection which can come into the vagina or uterus. As I told you, cervical cancer is one of the cancer which is caused by HPV virus. So indirectly, it's not that sanitary pad might be causing cancer. If you're not maintaining proper hygiene, you remove that the good bacteria, and there is a risk of definitely infections which can be a one of the reason for cervical cancer later in life. So thank you so very much for attending this webinar. We'll be coming up with some more interesting educational webinars in the future. Thank you.